sharing on my phone.
John, did you get dinner?
Huh?
You not get dinner?
I got some cookies. I didn't know. I flew in from Mexico.
2 day. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to our City Council meeting for Thursday, December 18th, 2025. The opening will be presented by Councilmember Perry Oaks.
I asked for the opportunity. My guess is most council members do as they're getting ready to depart. But as an opportunity, when I decided to run 5 years ago, you don't know what you don't know what you're getting into. Can be pretty thankless. But what a wonderful opportunity to see how a small city runs, and to, and I couple conversations tonight where, most of your life you wake up, you flip on the lights, it's going to come on. You turn on to brush your teeth in the morning, water's going to run, trash is going to get picked up, and then when you sit in these seats and you get a feeling for what it takes for that to happen, and the magnitude of work that gets done day in and day out by the folks that are serving this city, it's awe-inspiring. I spent 27 years in the Air Force, getting up where, you had 18, 19-year-old kids that are out on the flight line every day, launching aircraft, in defense of our nation, in preparation for that, and a lot of times overseas, really in defense of stuff. And you're at awe at those young men and women, at what they do. And I've been around a lot of Air Force bases, and you got a city like Kaysville is like a base, with all the different functions, not near the resources that a military base has, and not near the personnel, and it still runs. And so I wanted to start tonight by just saying thanks. Thanks for the wonderful opportunity that I have had as a council member. I have loved working with Mayor Tran and the other council members and the entire staff, because you're all class acts. And I've enjoyed working with the residents of the city. I love the passion that they bring, even when they're disagreeing with everything we might say or do. I love the passion in that they want to be involved, and that they have an opinion, they're willing to stand up and say something. Because when you're not able to stand up and express your opinion, well, then we're living in Russia or China, and none of us want that. So I have thoroughly enjoyed, not every minute, some of the packets that Melinda sends out or that Anne-Marie sends out that are 300 plus pages, those are painful weeks. So, but it's fun learning and collaborating and being able to make a decision, and hopefully informed decisions in most cases about what you believe is right to do. And I very much appreciate the residents of Kaysville who elected me to the position 4 years ago. Anyways, with that, I will offer a prayer and then lead in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we come before Thee at this time of year with gratitude in our hearts. Gratitude for the nation in which we live, and gratitude for Thy Son, who lived and died and continues to guide us in these days. We're thankful to be able to live in a wonderful country, but a wonderful city, and for the residents of the city and for the city staff, which does such a wonderful job of taking care of the residents without them understanding what goes into each and every day. We pray at this time of year that Thou wilt please watch over us, keep us safe in our activities, and help us to be able to enjoy this holiday season with our families and friends. In this we pray humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Councilmember Oaks. We don't have anyone signed up to speak during call to the public, so I'm going to speak for a minute. I just want to express my appreciation for you. You have been an incredible council member. I've learned so much from you. I love that we all have such diverse backgrounds, and the fact that you bring the military background is an honor to be able to sit beside you, and we are grateful for your leadership and your advice and your counsel during the last 4 years. I can't believe 4 years has flown by. It's gone by so fast, and I'm excited for the future, but also just very sentimental, I guess, about our current council, and grateful because it has just been so much fun to be able to work with each of you and get to become, you become friends. You start off as strangers and you don't really know each other very well and kind of don't know what to think, and then work through issues and have disagreements and have opportunities to come together and to learn, and it's incredible. So thank you for everything that you've done. Anyone else? I mean, not that you were prepared to say anything, but you can if you want. You can if you want.
I'll say something.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Turn your mic on, John.
When I first met Perry, no, I'll just say something quick. Perry, you are a mentor. You are a genius. You're an incredible golfer. You're kind-hearted. You're a good father. You're a good grandfather. You're a good husband. You chose the wrong team to support. But I really love you, man. And thank you so much. And I'm so grateful to have become your friend. We'll treasure it forever.
All right, thank you. Should we do this now or later? I'm not sure. Okay, all right, so this is not on our agenda. Should we present this now? Is that okay? Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. Skipping ahead.
So if we get to say something again?
Yeah. Skipping ahead, everyone. Okay. We have a presentation now by our independent auditors. Well, of the independent auditors report for fiscal year 2025. Come on down. Is that the end? Oh, sorry. It's messed up. But.
All right. We are required to prepare an annual audit report and present it to our city council. The hard work and dedication of administrative staff and our auditors is essential in this process. The purpose of an annual audit by an independent auditor is to review the accuracy of the financial statements and ensure that we are in compliance. Our independent auditing firm is HBME, and we're pleased to have Warren Anderson and Aaron Hickson here to give their report.
Thanks, Parker. I'm Warren Anderson, representing HBME, and I'm assuming this week was one of those 300-plus page packet weeks. So on behalf of Governmental Accounting Standards, I apologize. Within the report, we offer 3 opinions. Near the front, page 13, is our report on the audit of the financial statements. And then near the back, the other 2 opinions are on internal control and the state compliance guidelines. We are presenting a clean opinion. I guess our opinion is that the financials are presented fairly in all material respects. And then immediately following that is the management discussion and analysis, where that will go through some of the details of the year and various changes. A few points of interest. We noted that the city does not hold any general obligation debt, which is used by governments to just operate in the absence of immediately available funds. And I guess we think that it's not bad to use that debt, but it's good that the city is able to operate and meet its obligations, carry on capital projects without needing that type of long-term liability. Also of note, the city established a few years back the ARPA fund to manage the federal funding related to the American Rescue Plan Act. And as all of those funds have been either used or assigned, the purpose has been exhausted, so that fund will no longer show starting next year. And then we also wanted to mention looking at the statement of cash flows. The sewer fund in particular, in fiscal year 2025 appears to have an operating loss. So our recommendation is consider a fee analysis so that the details can be reviewed. Was there anything particularly large that caused that this year, or do fees need to be increased to continue to operate it so that it covers its own costs? Those are the main things that I wanted to highlight. Are there any questions?
So when you mentioned the general obligation fund, it tiny bit cryptic on what you were saying. Maybe help us understand, at least help me understand. You look at that as strange, or
not necessarily strange,
or just non-typical, if you will, of a city.
I would. Yeah.
Come on up to the mic, thanks.
My man, it's been a while.
How are you?
Good.
There are two types of debt that a municipality, well, there are many types, but when it comes to bonds, there are two types. One is revenue-based bonds, so you tie it to a sales tax or some sort of guaranteed revenue that's going to pay that debt service. Mm-hmm. You also can have general obligation debt, which is not tied to anything. And so it, just by its very nature, bears a little bit more risk because you're going to be using existing revenue streams that are not earmarked for that, or it's not going to increase revenue when you take out the debt, so it's kind of like neutral to the city at the moment. Mm-hmm. And so, in fact, it does bear enough element of risk, if you will, that the state of Utah limits the amount of general obligation debt that a municipality can have, any governmental entity can have. Because of that, you don't want to put yourself into a unnecessary burden financially to pay these general obligation bonds back. That's the only reason. So we're saying that when you look at the long-term debt footprint of Kaysville City, it's a positive thing. And what Warren's trying to convey is that you manage your finances well. You don't need to take out debt unnecessarily. Debt is absolutely critical, I believe, for a municipality, because if you're going to grow in any way, shape, or form, if you want to attract a developer to come, there's a lot of infrastructure that has to be put in order for that to happen. And you're going to do that with the understanding that you're going to get property taxes in the future because of the homes that are going to be built, et cetera, that you can then pay back that debt that you used. And so debt is necessary, but too much debt isn't necessarily a good thing. And so we're just trying to highlight that Kaysville City is doing a good job with the resources that they have, and they're not taking out a lot of long-term debt in order to run and fund its operations, even with future planning on capital projects that they need or may need in the future.
Okay, so I guess my follow-up question is like, so do you see a strategic reason or something that we're missing on the purpose of additional bonds? Or, okay.
No.
That was kind of confusing to me, so.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I have one question on general obligation bonds then,
You
because
bet.
you said, because my understanding was if you do something under a general obligation bond, you are saying as a council that you will raise taxes if need be to cover that cost if you have to.
Well, that is one way to repay it, of course, but taxes is not the only way to pay it. If you feel like you have sufficient resources currently to pay that.
Right, if you have a
could.
revenue stream, but I thought under a general obligation bond, you got a lower interest rate because you're basically guaranteeing that you will do whatever it takes to pay that bond off.
Yeah, you are not going to, a sales tax revenue bond literally will take out and say, we're going to do this with and then the bond company knows that you are going to increase sales tax revenue to pay that.
Okay.
General obligation does not carry that same requirement.
Right. Okay.
So there's still the obligation to pay, but there's not a stream that's associated with it or obligated to it.
Correct.
Right? It's just general.
Correct.
So general money. Okay. Thank you.
So, I will let Warren continue.
Thank you. Were you at the point where you wanted us to ask questions, or had?
Yeah, I'm
you were done
ready
with your
for any
presentation? Okay.
questions.
Okay.
I don't have anything else specific.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
John's comments kind of kicked this off in my mind, but just in general with the debt that we have, and I don't know if you can answer this, but compared to other cities, like, do you feel like we have more, less, like about the same? I don't know how many cities you look at, but.
It's a little bit of a loaded question. It's difficult to compare city to city.
Yeah.
Because there are so many intricacies in terms of operations, population, size, geographically.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, I don't see anything that makes me say this is odd for a city of Kaysville's size.
Can I have
Thank you.
one more question? Oh, go. Yeah,
So,
Mike.
in your opinion, because you've gone over the entire finances of Kaysville City, right now, our revenues exceeding our expenditures. So are we sitting financially in a good position?
Be awesome if you accessed your notes and said yes.
Yeah.
Let me just come to the.
Yes.
I don't want Warren to feel like inadequate in any way. He's a manager for our firm, and this is one of the first times that he's presenting to a municipality. And so I'm just, though I am coming to his rescue, I don't want, he could answer it. I just want to lessen his burden, come to his aid. So there is absolutely none of your funds that are running a deficit fund balance.
Thank
That means that operationally, your revenues are greater than your expenditures. However, I want you to understand a key point that he brought up.
Right.
If you look at page 39 of the report, do you have access to that, or am I?
We do.
Right here.
Okay. You can see here the operating cash flow section, that top section.
Yes.
So the standards require us to break out how your cash changed hands. And so you can see at the very bottom, it says cash at the beginning of the year, cash at the end of the year, and how the cash increased or decreased by each of your business type funds. Only the business type funds are required to have this. All of them have a positive operational cash flow. That means that just for normal day-to-day operations, you're making a profit. So I would say a fee analysis is warranted by looking at this snapshot. Now, if this year is an anomaly and last year was okay and the future years are going to be okay, and this is just we had to buy a new building or more vehicles or whatever, then maybe that's not an issue. But if not, I would say possibly your fee structure to bring in more revenue could be outdated. Possibly somebody should look at the expenditures and say, should we do something to lower our expenses so that we can run a profit? Because if you were running the sewer as your own for-profit entity, each of you, I don't think that you would like this and you would do something internally. So what we are suggesting is that the council do some sort of a fee analysis study to look at revenues and expenditures for that, so that each of them are operating at least a break even, which is the requirement of a business type fund.
At this point so far, what you're telling me is though that we are. You say our cash assets were greater than our expenses.
Yes, with the exception of sewer, it's barely. So it's like,
That's not ours.
so, but but what that means is inherently it's being subsidized, because if you, at some point, if that continues, then you will run into a deficit, and then it becomes your problem.
Okay.
Even though the sewer
It's not ours.
is not yours,
Right.
yes. Weber Basin or whoever.
Yeah, and also, this is based on accrual accounting, right, rather
Correct.
than cash?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Just to make sure that people are clear there.
Back to the general obligation bond.
Uh-huh.
If you were to take out $3 million on a general obligation bond, at, what are they going for, 4%, 3%?
I just noticed one of our cities that took out about that much, and it was 1.12%.
1.12%. Can you then just take out that money, invest it, or put it into something that's making like 4 or 5% and yield? No, I'm serious.
I know you're serious. Have you ever heard of the term arbitrage?
No.
You are required to have a calculation because you cannot make money off certain debt.
Yeah.
If the debt is subsidized, or it is like you're getting a benefit at a lower rate because of a government, is issuing that, or the federal government. In many circumstances, you cannot borrow money to invest it to make more money without having to pay taxes on that arbitrage, on that spread. Mm-hmm. So could you do it? I would not advise for that.
You couldn't put it in the PTIF and do it in there?
No, because they purposely create this so that you don't do that. The arbitrage calculation.
John, I think you have to be a member of Congress or
Yeah.
some
I
state
really-
attorney general somewhere and do more. That's called mortgage fraud.
Though I do believe that the billions of dollars of ARPA funds that were spread across the nation, those unspent funds happened to be in bank accounts and investments at one of the best times to earn interest over the last 24 to 30 months, and they were making a lot of money. And that was a unique situation because it was kind of like free money. And so in general, you cannot do that. And I would not say that that is a wise strategy.
Okay.
But it's a great question. Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Good try.
Yeah, you're a thinker. You are creative. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, conflicts of interest. Does anyone have anything to declare? Nope. Okay, would someone like to make a motion on the consent agenda, items 5A through F?
I'll make a motion. Mayor,
Okay,
I make a motion that we approve consent items A through F.
And I will second.
okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. We'll start with Councilmember Hunt.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. I will just add that we are very sad to see one of our planning commissioners retire, Paul Allred. He's spent years and years serving our city and doing a fantastic job, and so we are very grateful for his service, as we are grateful for all of our planning commissioners' service, and so appreciate him and his time that he's spent. He's very smart and he's taught us a lot. So, okay, 6A, action item, an ordinance enacting Title 18, Chapter 2, Section 12 to adopt the Utah Wildland Urban Interface Code. Chief, come on down.
All right. Mayor, council members, city leaders, I appreciate your time. Got a little more information from last time, which is good. Can I plug this in? Really, in a nutshell, the map just came out today, believe it or not, the state urban interface map. And you got to switch it. And you can't see it there.
We can see it here.
Okay. Probably if you turn around, I apologize, it'd probably be better. It's an eye chart anyway. You look at the line going north-south, that's 89. If you look at where my pointer is right now, that is our worst case scenario. And if you look to the bottom where it says 5/8 high exposure, we have about 8 homes to 15 homes in that area. What I am being told today, and I'm going to move the cursor over here, see the high exposure and the dark red? Those are the ones that are going to get the $20 to $100 fees assessed starting in January 1st of 26 through the end of 27. And then January 28th is when you need to have assessment if you live in those areas. You need to, your insurance companies will want that assessment. You can appeal fees that you've paid in 26 and 27. But what it appears after talking to our wildland folks today and looking at this map, it should not affect any Kaysville resident. But really, at the end of the day, nobody cares what I think, and nobody cares what our council or our city thinks. State law passed March 3rd of 2025. The governor signed it 19 March of 25. It's state law that we pass this, as they call it, a WUI code. We changed the verbiage, talking to Councilmember Blackham, to change it to Utah, because if you look at the verbiage now on the map, they talk about the 2006 Utah Wildland Urban Interface Code and the 2015 ICC Urban Interface Code. So some say, and Mike and I have talked about this, that we just kind of took the ICC one, converted it over to us, blah, blah, blah. But a new one is draft. It's supposed to come out. I think Katie and Nick's office did a great job on the verbiage saying the most current code. At the end of the day, if we do not adopt this code, we potentially have to pay the bill if we get a fire that starts on our land and moves on up.
Right.
That's really it. My advice, we adopt it and move on.
And your advice also is to adopt the to adopt this and adopt the map that's in
I'd
front of
like
us,
to- I'd like
right?
to put that up. Thank you, ma'am. So I did this. We are advised, there's nothing in the bill that says we have to have a map. But we were advised by wildland folks to have one for our city. It matches the color. You can see that that's east of 89 there. That is our property. Jordan did this for us a few weeks ago. It was in the last packet from 2 weeks ago, and it really matches up. Most of our city in any type of area is in moderate. It's number 4. If you look at Ice Pond Road and all those areas that have some thickets and all those, it's still a moderate risk.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I can't guarantee nobody would be fine. Yeah, Mike will come after me or whatever and give him my phone number, but there's nothing that we can do about it is my
Right.
point.
Okay.
So,
Okay, and so recommended that we adopt the code, obviously, and also the map that we have before us, just
Yes,
as a
ma'am.
sort of a secondary, this is what we were agreeing to and
yes,
believe
ma'am.
that is included, right?
And I
Okay.
already spoke to Nick, and before you sign and they sign,
Okay.
he'll adjust
We'll
that
adjust it.
verbiage
Okay,
to account for the map, and then we're done.
okay. All right, thank you. Council, Councilmember Hunt?
Thank you. So Chief, I just wanted to reiterate
Yeah.
kind of a conversation we had earlier before this where I asked you about whether or not this will affect people's like insurance or whether they'll be dropped from insurance. And can you just remind me what we said there?
So as I said earlier, it shouldn't. We have a lot of defensible space, as they call it, with any of our homes up on the East Bench. And if you're in a moderate area, you only need 25 feet from the structure itself for defensible space. And even high areas, you need 50 to 100. The extreme areas need more. So we don't hit any of those areas. I don't see any of our homes, even when we had that fire last summer that hit up there on the East Bench, it still was, they had a lot of defensible space. So even if they did that and their insurance rates went higher, if they get an assessment and they clear that and make it a green zone, as the wildland folks call it, they should be fine.
So
But
implementing this, you don't think will
Yeah,
affect
but it's
people?
not, I don't do assessments, and I don't work for an insurance company. I know that's a sorry answer, but, I can't speak of what they'll do. I really think after getting into this and talking to several people, they're really talking about people that live up in the wooded areas where you don't really have a water source. The roads are much more narrow, and it just doesn't affect us that way in our city.
Right. I think your point maybe that you're making is us adopting this does not put any of our residents into a situation where it would automatically increase. And even if it
Right.
did, it's beyond our ability to control that.
If
So this is not
anything,
an
what
action
this
that we're
does,
taking
it puts
against
more
them.
enforcement on the fire code side for
Right.
me.
Okay.
And on the building code side for Melinda and her folks.
Okay.
Really,
So
that's what
it's
it
added protection
does
in a
even
way.
more so.
Okay.
If you look at the code, when I say it was poorly written, if you look at the fire side of the code up there, you're actually, water is less restrictive. It's, your roads are narrower. It's allowed by fire code when you're up in those areas. So,
Yeah, that is-
it doesn't make a lot of sense for a firefighter, but
Okay.
okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Chief.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion
Okay,
that we approve action item A, an ordinance enacting Title 18, Chapter 2, Section 12, to adopt the Utah Wildland Urban Interface Code.
I'll second.
okay, thank you. We have a motion and a,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
We have to add the map.
oh, yes, would you also add
Sorry.
and adopt the map?
And adopt the map.
Ditto.
Does that work?
Nick will take care of that. Okay, thank you. Yes, glad you caught that. Okay, thank you. Are you okay with the second? Okay. All right, Councilmember Jackson.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
All right. Action item 6B, a resolution adopting the 2025 Kaysville City Water Conservation Plan. Come on down.
All right.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before I get started, Councilman Oaks, I know there will be time at the end, but on behalf of staff in multiple departments, we appreciate all of our elected officials, and I don't even think we can fully understand the difficulty of, as what was described, a thankless job. As a resident and a staff member, I appreciate the time that you all spend doing what you do, the time that you put in trying to understand issues and operations and deliberating and making difficult decisions. So we appreciate you so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
So can we replace the sunset?
There you go.
Yeah, can we call it
you can
Oaks
put that
Way?
wherever you want.
As long as it's
Thanks,
attached
John.
with what, zip ties?
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Awesome, Oaks Way.
He stayed up late painting that.
That's right. It's hand crayon drawn.
And at least it's not red.
Yes.
I'm here tonight in continuation from the previous meeting to present the updated water conservation plan for Kaysville City. The water department is extremely important, and that sounds like it doesn't do it justice. Today, we found out that the water manager, Jared Tubbs, is going to be leaving us later in January. And I don't know if Jared is listening, but we work with so many great people in public works, but Jared is as good as they come. And just grateful for being able to work with him and learn from him these last 9 years. And then surprised that he hasn't been snatched up sooner, but he'll do amazing work, and so excited for him and his family, and appreciate the time that he's spent on the city's behalf, and appreciate Elise, his wife, and their 2 kids, and what they've given to have their dad leave a lot of things over the years. But anyway, that is a tangent. I apologize. But yeah, as was previously mentioned in the last meeting, this update is required by state code every 5 years. I don't mean this to like be a distraction at all, because it was a unique opportunity that I had time-wise. But this is an update. I wish I had included the previous conservation plan that had been adopted in 2019. We added a lot to this. I feel like we've made it very robust and have been able to do that completely internal to the department. We got a quote on getting some help with that, and we're just really pleased at the ability to not have to bring in somebody to assist us with that, and that's not a commentary on anything, but mostly a commentary on the appreciation for staff down at the Operations Center being able to put that together with me. This plan talks about the current usage patterns of Kaysville City. It talks about future projections for demand, and I think the most important part of this plan is it details the ongoing efforts, primarily with education and outreach to the community, to our residents, to our businesses, to help them understand their usage and to help them understand the opportunities that exist for them to conserve, not just saving water, but saving on their bills as well. So with that, we'll turn it over to council for any questions, commentary that you might have, input as we look to adopt this. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have talked about it previously. Do you guys have any questions or comments, or feel good about it? Okay.
Yeah, you just
Councilmember Oaks.
look and see, how little water we've got. Water conservation is only going to get worse as we continue to grow. It's the need for it.
Correct.
And just to be mindful.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
you don't want
I-
to do anything stupid or, you know, but
I think, as
We're
you
gonna be
mentioned
forced.
in your opening, I think we take a lot for granted of being able to turn the lights on and turn on the faucet, and the more that we can do to educate and assist people with understanding, and that's impactful. So it is incredibly important.
I've tried to get my family to only flush once a day, but it hasn't gone over very well.
Don't give up.
You know, doing your part, Perry, that's great. That's great. Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just have a comment. Yeah, thank you for your work on this. It was very straightforward and easy to understand, and I think it's a good, step forward for the city. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Someone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve action item B, resolution adopting 2025 Kaysville City Water Conservation Plan.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Oaks.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Josh, for that. Motion carries. Action item 6C, a resolution amending the 2022 general plan to include Chapter 6, Kaysville Water Use and Preservation as required by Utah Code.
Well, that's the theme tonight. We're doing things that the state is making us do.
Yes, don't we love it?
Yeah, so I did include in the packet the draft of what, if it's adopted, will become Chapter 6 of the Kaysville General Plan. This went to Planning Commission last week. We held a public hearing. We did have 2 comments. One comment came from a resident who understands the importance of water conservation. He did send a letter out to the council today that I believe was forwarded to you. So, and then we had another individual comment with just some questions about that. But with that, I want to just kind of real quickly go through, since you did not have the opportunity to see this plan last time the way you did with Josh's water conservation plan. Let me just drag this over. Hold on. Oh, I don't. Just want to close it. Don't see. Let me drag. Okay. Having technical difficulties tonight. I don't know why that's not.
So close.
So I think the city should go to max, so you don't
Well,
have those
okay.
issues.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I don't know what this is doing. Let me just try. Well, maybe we should just say, have you read it? Do you have questions? There's,
That guy right here.
it goes through an introduction and a purpose section. There is some technical information in there that just kind of goes over the different types of uses and the number of connections that the city has based on those uses. It does go into a little bit of technical information about how much an equivalent residential connection would be, and then a lot of this really does mirror what Josh had put together for the water conservation plan. There's some additional information that will be very helpful to us as we look towards future land use decisions. We've looked at, and the consultant that has helped with our water system did an analysis to determine what an average use of certain type of or average water use based on a certain type of land use. Let me see if I can pull that open again. Okay, here we go. So this chart that's on page 9 here. So as we look to, hey, we have an application that's coming in and wants to take our heavy agricultural land use that's currently designated and convert that over to, let's say, single family, 12,000 square feet. We can go in, we can use this chart as a calculation to say, all right, based on that, this is how many ERCs per acre that we would envision that new development would consume, and then we can check and see if we have adequate water availability. And then as with each of our chapters, well, so we did discuss at the meeting a couple weeks ago that one of the challenges that we've had as we've worked through this is that we do not have any data for the secondary water. So the sections that we've kind of breezed through previously were related to our culinary water. And then this section is just kind of talking about some of those data gaps that exist. Once those water meters are installed by the end of 2030, they start metering the water, we should be able to get data. State code does require us to update this every 5 years. So when we do have that data available that we can actually analyze and use and incorporate into the plan, we would definitely want to amend this again as required with that 5-year time frame. And then, as I was saying, each of the chapters of the general plan goes into different things that we can do, goals and objectives. And so these are some of the tools that can help win secondary water, right? Pricing and billing as you start to actually pay for what you're using. I think that will be one of the biggest reasons why people will look to what they do with their yards differently. And then each of these different topics has these goals and objectives. So we have the effective development patterns on water demand and infrastructure, different goals and objectives there, methods to reduce demand for future development, and then reducing demand for existing development. And I think that is the last of this. And then just some opportunities to maybe look at modifying our city operations. This really is coming, I think, directly from the water conservation plan that you just adopted in the previous item. So we have also will commit to, as mentioned, continuing to work with Weber Basin, our secondary water providers, and just keeping in mind responsible use of water as we continue to grow and develop. A couple things to note: we have had this plan reviewed by the state, and they have deemed that this is compliant with state law. The code, I did include the code section in the packet, and there's 4 things in code that we have to do, and the state has determined that this plan is compliant with those 4 things that we have to do. There are other things in the code that give us an option. We may consider these things, but the 4 shalls that are in state code, we are compliant with that. So with that, the Planning Commission did pass a vote of 4-0 to recommend the City Council approve the plan, and I'm here to answer any questions. Josh can definitely tackle some of those questions of the technical items if you have questions on those too.
I'm looking at the packet on my iPad, but I'm not seeing exactly what are the 4 shells? Just remind us real fast.
So we shall consider, this is, I'm reading it right from state code, applicable regional water conservation goals recommended by the Division of Water Resources. That's, I think,
or could you just show us on the screen maybe?
Yeah.
Then you don't have to read them, but.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me drag that over if it works.
Oh, it's that one, right. Okay, I see that.
Okay. Fun times here tonight. Let me see if I can drag it a different direction. All right, so this first one here, we shall consider applicable regional water conservation. And I don't know if this 7310, is that the water? That's the one. That's what requires this. Okay, yeah. So we've consulted with the regional water conservation goals. That's primarily Weber Basin. We're consulting our water conservation plan you just passed. We have to include a recommendation for water conservation policies That's what we have in our goals, the goals and objectives that are listed in there. Landscaping options with public streets. Let's see, this shall review the municipality's land use ordinances and recommendations to change those. We've included some of those in the recommendations. And then principles of sustainable landscaping. And then further down is where we get into the section. We may include recommendations on these items, but we, you know, those other shalls, we've consulted with the public water system, we've consulted with the Division of Water Resources. So we have met all of those requirements as the ones that are listed as the requirements, just not the ones that's saying, hey, we may look at these things. And I think that really was meant to give the city's flexibility to craft a plan that really is meaningful and appropriate for each individual community.
Okay, thanks. And the enforcement, it's a self-enforcement sort of?
Well, so there wouldn't be any enforcement. I mean, this is a general plan, which is an advisory document. So there's really nothing in here that binds us to doing any of these things. There's no, now this could change in the future, but as of now, there is no compliance checking that the state's going to come in and say, like, you have to report on this. What have you done? Have you done these things? So at this point, it's just they wanted everyone to have these adopted by the end of the year. That was the deadline that was set when the bill was passed. And above and beyond that compliance check of you've met the state code and done it in the time frame prescribed, I don't think there would be anything else. But as I think Councilmember Oaks pointed out, I think as the state continues to grow, there will probably be more pressure from the state down on communities to do more. And, I can't speak to what the future would hold, but there could very well be more compliance checking on these types of things in the future. But right now, it's just the get it adopted and meet the state code.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, Council?
Mayor?
Nope.
Not for me.
It's
yes,
sort
go
of
ahead.
like you have to wear a white shirt to pass the sacrament, right?
Right.
Even though you don't.
Even though you don't, it's recommended. Okay. Councilmember Hunt.
Can I ask a couple
Sure.
questions? Okay, so I think one question I've got for Melinda and then one probably for Josh. My first one for Melinda is, and we talked about this a little bit on page, I think, was it 12 we decided? Where it suggests, let's see, where are we?
This is on.
Was it 12 or 11? Okay, yeah, encourage compact residential. For me, I feel like that is just, it's redundant for what we already have in our general plan, and I'm not sure it really does a whole lot for water conservation. So I'd love to talk about it with the council just to see, but I'm okay with taking that out, and Melinda didn't seem to think that it would make us non-compliant. So, I think if it doesn't make us non-compliant and we can take it out, I just think it's unnecessarily redundant, I guess. I don't know. What does everyone else think?
Take it out. Yeah. Take it out.
Yeah, and I did, Councilmember Hunt, I did pull up the general plan to just there are a few things in the general plan as it exists that address those types of kind of clustered subdivisions. So there is in other chapters, the nod to that type of a development. So there is a little bit of redundancy. I don't think it would make us not compliant, but obviously that's something that I wouldn't, be able to fully answer until I talk with the state about that. But I don't have, my gut read on this is I think we would still be okay. There also was, let me just show the main area where the cluster subdivision, it was one of our, it was one of the guiding principles at the very beginning of the plan. So, preserve our open space, trails, and natural resources. And so it actually is one of the guiding principles to look at that type of a clustered development, which really is kind of like sharing open space rather than having every individual home has a large amount of open space. You look to kind of combine that and have, shared open space. That's the kind of the nature of those cluster developments. So it is covered in other areas of the general plan.
Would you mind pulling that up again, what you recommended
Oh, here it is.
taking out?
Did you
Yeah, I
Okay,
was just
yeah.
curious. Okay.
Okay, so any comment or discussion on that? I think that's fine.
I think it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
as you know, my feelings on the general plan is keep it as very general as possible,
Right.
because anytime you put specifics in this general plan and then the legislature makes you say that your general plan is now your
Binding.
Specific.
binding, and so when the day that they do that, the next day, we're gonna amend the old 11-page general plan that we had. I hope, so.
Okay, go ahead.
I have some
Councilmember.
questions, yeah. So, excuse me, on page 281, with the draft that the consultants put together, under the goal, further Kaysville's efforts in the 2025 Water Conservation Plan, the second bullet point, I'm just curious about this, says require new developments using culinary irrigation to sign a landscaping agreements limiting turf percentages. I get a little nervous when I see require, but then not a specific percentage, and so just wanted to talk about that. Has it been discussed what type of percentage that would be?
No, the situation that this is discussing is last month when we came to talk to council about a minor adjustment to ordinance. As you're aware, 94+% of Kaysville is served by both drinking water for your indoor use and secondary water for your outdoor use. We want to protect that as much as possible and stick to that. So in the case where a developer proposes a development, they are able to show by engineering analysis that it's not feasible to serve a property with irrigation. We do have the ability to serve it with culinary. So the requirement there is, all right, if we are going to allow that to happen, we don't want giant turf areas using a lot of that water. In terms of the percentages, we don't have anything specific identified, and that could be beneficial. It could also be difficult not having something specific. But I think our intent, or at least our hope, would be being able to treat that on a case-by-case basis, as Linda pointed out with the table. We anticipate so many ERCs being created per acre and so many thousands of gallons of water being utilized per acre in a development type. And depending on where we're at, being able to make a judgment call that we feel that that's too much. We feel like that's not doable.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of a judgment call involved with that on the part of staff.
Well, thanks for clarifying that. And I had other, overall, I think it looks really good and it's pretty straightforward. So thank you, Melinda, and thanks to the consultants that put this together. In reading the State Bill 110, or Senate Bill 110, where this originated from, the bill is, it's called The Water as Part of a General Plan. But then I did a quick search, and it's interesting because there's a lot of information out there in the bill about moderate income housing, and trying to legislate moderate income housing. It's very shaky ground when a local government tries to do that, in my opinion. But I looked it up, and the bill mentions moderate income housing 40 times, moderate income 40 times. It mentions conservation 16 times. And so I feel like moving forward as a city, as we develop this plan, I agree with Councilmember Blackham. Let's kind of keep it more broad, and do our best to conserve. But I think we need to, I would hope the city takes a very thoughtful approach to this and not an overly heavy-handed approach. And I think the residents of our community will absolutely step up if they're incentivized or asked to try to limit water. And there's a lot of other things that we can do. But there was so much in here about moderate income housing that I'm disappointed in the state when they make these very complicated bills. It puts more pressure on us as a city and staff to try to comply with all of this. And so I would just hope that moving forward, the state, when it comes to our most precious resource, water, that they make these bills more straightforward and helpful for us as a city to maneuver. So that's all I want to say. But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask one more question,
oh,
Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. So Josh, my other question was, so I forget the letters, but we essentially have like how much we think each person uses per day. And then we kind of project,
Usage.
usage, and that's supposed to kind of guide what we allow to come into the city development-wise.
Right.
With just the projections that we have, do we feel like they're like accurate enough? I guess what I'm trying to get at is I often think about the future and, the people who come to Kaysville 60 years from now, 70 years, and I wonder if they're going to look back and be like, man, that council should have had more forethought or whatever. And not necessarily specifically our council, but just councils in general. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at is, do we feel like these numbers, and I know we'll tighten them up later when we get more information on secondary water, but do we feel like these numbers are conservative enough that we're not going to let anything slip through the cracks while we're waiting for that?
Yeah, we're intentionally conservative with the numbers. As we talk about potential future deficits with what we currently have available via contract, we want to be far on the side of being conservative so that there is kind of some cushion built into that. We want to, I guess you could say, plan for the worst and hope for the best. But yeah, I do feel confident in that, and even the projections themselves, so many ERCs per acre, so many thousands of gallons per acre, those numbers themselves are even more on the conservative side. So, great question.
Appreciate that.
And just wanted to mention, you mentioned a well.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't one of our priorities, right?
Yeah.
Explain.
I think it's called Drill Baby
Drill Baby.
I thought that's what they were talking about.
Okay, good. Just making sure that we are prioritizing those things. Like you said, to think 60 years ahead, because we are benefiting from 60 years in the past. So thank you. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, if that's okay.
Sure.
That we approve item number C, a resolution amending the 2022 general plan to include Chapter 6 Kaysville water use and preservation required by Utah Code 10-20-404, general plan preparations with the modification that we delete that section that I talked about.
Great.
Is that clear enough?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Blackham.
Aye.
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 If I have to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, aye?
I think it's, yeah.
Or no?
No, I'm
You
going
don't have
to
to.
say no.
Okay, go ahead and say no. Okay.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Okay.
Way to go. Way to stand up in your last day.
Yeah, when it doesn't make a difference.
Well, it made a difference. You
It
were.
makes a difference. You're voting your conscience.
And damning it. You're damning that water.
And no. I will say that that Nate's comments on the moderate income housing being on there so much, I see this as a pathway to more state control. So I mean, there's no hooks in it now, from what we understand, from what Melinda believes, but I just think the state's trying to get as many hooks into us as it can. So.
And there is conversations about making general plans binding eventually. Okay. And I don't know how that process will work, but I have heard that
have too.
being spoken of. So I don't know if they say
Okay, so
your
I'll
current
stand
general
firm with my neighbor.
plan is binding, or we'll give you 6 months
You wanna
and then it's
change your vote?
binding. So,
Change my vote.
I've just heard rumors, and you have too, Mike, I'm sure, right?
What?
Yeah, rumors of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very much so.
So to your point, yes, I agree. Okay, all right. Motion did carry, however. We can always revisit this. All right, work item 7A, review of the 2026 calendar and related housekeeping items. Jason?
This is exciting. We're talking about 2026 already. Anne Marie did this really fantastic calendar.
I love it, thank you.
So
Thank you, thank you.
kudos to Anne Marie. This is one of the best calendars I've ever seen in my life.
Me too.
Color coded, and so we're just trying to get all the dates out for next year, so you have the opportunity to kind of pencil those in and maybe just to start with January, because it's a lot. First of all, the January 1st meeting is canceled, so that's good. There's only one meeting next month. That'll be the third Thursday on January 15th. So all the blues are the regular meetings. Any reds are canceled. Right now, you can see we've just canceled January 1st, and then that first meeting of April, which is the Davis spring break. And then we've also got the budget work sessions in here, and those are the green. We're looking to do those on Friday mornings again, like we've done in the past.
Oh, I'm going to have to miss those.
You're
Wait.
welcome to come.
No, you
They're
can't.
open
You
to the
can zoom
public.
in.
They're on YouTube. We'll make
Yeah.
sure that you
Yes.
can.
8 hours ahead.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we've also got this year the Kaysville University we're bringing back. That was done a few years ago. And there's a tentative schedule that we put together. This is a 7-week course. We're planning to do it on Wednesday nights, beginning on January 21st. Each night will be 1 hour to 2 hours, and we'll dive into a specific department or two. And we're going to try to keep that just to elected and appointed officials. There's a lot of tours that we're going to be taking, different parts of the cities. You get to see a power substation and there's water tanks and all kinds of exciting things, I think. So I'd like to invite everyone to attend that, and if you can, and I think some of you have done this in the past, but
It's really, really good.
yeah, we're really excited. So, and obviously you don't have to attend all of them, but those are shown as the gold orangish squares. So just looking at that, any questions, concerns? I think mostly it's those Friday morning budget work sessions, though, that I was most interested in getting feedback on. But will those work again like we've done in the past? Those are typically going to be sometimes 2-3+ hour meetings at times, and so that's why we like to do those in the morning rather than trying to do something at 7 to 10 or something like that on a weeknight.
And we're half asleep.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that works for everyone else, but could we push them back to 9?
9 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, it'll give me time to get my kids off to school.
I think that would be just
I
fine.
don't know
Yep.
if that's okay with
Abs-
everyone else.
For me, I think staff, that's just fine.
That works. It seems like,
Yeah. Tentatively, it works
yes,
for me.
yeah.
And we'll of course revisit these items as we get closer to all of the dates. But Anne Marie's put out calendar invites, so that's great. And that's all for the calendar item.
So if need be, could the Friday meetings be Zoom?
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
Could
Yeah.
possibly be?
Yep, for sure.
Not technically Zoom, but yes, they'll be.
Well, okay.
They could participate virtually.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you going to put that in the invite at all, that information?
You're gonna be-
Okay, that'd be helpful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. This is great to have it at a glance. I appreciate that. Discussion of amending the Kaysville City Rules of Procedure and Order. Nick?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Happy holidays. It's good to be with you. This is a amendment to the rules of procedure for the City Council meetings. And what we're seeing, not necessarily here in Utah, although we see it occasionally, but throughout the nation, we're seeing some more, I guess, political incivility during council meetings. And so we just wanted to, as the legal staff, we just wanted to stay ahead of that. So this really discusses 3 changes. It clarifies the comments that can be made, and we certainly encourage comments and respect the freedom of speech right that we all have. But it gives some clarity on comments. It talks about materials that can be distributed and where those can be distributed. So we're going to have people distribute those in the lobby to avoid disruptions during our meetings. We can foresee that if the council has some hot button issue that people might want to distribute materials here in the council chambers during the meeting, and that could certainly disrupt the meeting. So it would prohibit that, it would regulate that, I guess I should say. And then finally, it clarifies that people can bring signs to meetings, and it gives some guidance on how the size of those signs, and that they can't be on a pole or lit up or those kind of things. Again, to maintain the ability for local citizens to disagree on issues, and for both sides of any issue to be able to present their thoughts and opinions on those, so that the council can make the best and most informed decisions.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've heard a lot of feedback from, not necessarily even in Davis County, but in other areas, where people feel so intimidated showing up as public to meetings because they might have a different opinion. Sure. So I appreciate the fact, because I feel like this protects the public even more, yeah. and their ability to have free speech. Yeah. So, okay, yeah. Any comments, council? Questions? Okay.
Mayor, I apologize. There is one typo we noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Councilmember Hunt pointed that out to me. It's in Rule 5. We're gonna. So when this hopefully it comes back as an action item, there'll be one additional change, and it's typographical error.
Okay. Way to go, Councilmember Hunt.
Yeah.
That legal brain of yours. It's working overtime. Okay. Comments, questions, council?
I have one comment.
Yes.
I read in there a line that the mayor has the ability and jurisdiction to appropriately encourage any council member that talks too much. And I thought of myself when those first few weeks on council, I talked nonstop. Got a kick out of that. But thanks for putting this together. It was good.
That's funny. All right. Would someone like to make a motion to move this to an action item?
Yeah, I'll make a motion
Thank
that
you.
we move this item to an action item.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Oakes.
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Adams.
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. Councilmember reports. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share?
I do. The mosquito abatement manager, Gary Hatch, is going to retire. He's been there for as long as it's been there, 30-some-odd years. He worked for Salt Lake before coming to Davis Mosquito Abatement District. He's just a very knowledgeable man. He's done an excellent job. He's an excellent manager. He's going to be a hard replacement. But you know, I mean, if anybody sees him or whatever, just wave to him, tell him thank you.
Is he having a goodbye party or anything?
Knowing Gary, no.
No?
Probably not. But
Okay.
he's just a top-notch guy, done an excellent job down there.
Okay. Anyone else? The fire department had a Christmas party for the families, which was really nice. They were able to bring their children in, and that was great. And the city had a gathering, which was really nice also. It was really well done for the employees. And so I'd also like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Can't believe it's here. We're so close to almost being done with the year. Okay, no one else has reports? Don't want to, okay. All right, now we have our presentation.
Oh, Mayor.
Oh, yes.
I had one quick.
Oh, city manager report, sorry. Boy,
Mayor.
just rushing through.
We had a great turnout, or a large turnout of skate park supporters the last meeting, so I wanted to follow up on that item. Cole's done a really good job of communicating with that group and kind of finding who some of the leaders are that are interested. So we have scheduled a meeting with the people that are interested, both from the Homeowners Association and the skate park community, to further discuss this. and that'll be at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, January 6th.
Yeah.
So, in short, we did remove all of the features that were installed out there earlier this week. Unfortunately, none of the items are insurable. We spent quite a bit of time talking with the trust to see if we could keep some of that equipment potentially, and it's got to be professionally built. There's not even a way, for example, to have a third party come out and inspect it. They have to be able to see it, built and see plans. And so we've explained that to the skate park community. In the meantime, though, we're working on kind of moving forward with other ideas, and we'll see where that might take us. So just
what time's that meeting?
5 o'clock on the 6th.
Here?
Here. Yep.
Okay. I'm coming.
So Jason, if that had been put up on private property somewhere, we wouldn't care, right?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any code violations. I mean, and I think there are plenty of these types of things out on private property in a lot of people's backyards and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I mean, it's just the whole liability on city property.
Exactly. Yep.
So, okay. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Also, just wanted to make sure we are planning to replace council iPads. A lot of you are working off of old iPads that are 5 or 6 years old. That's starting to wear out. So, put out an email today. Ryan's going to be purchasing the base model of iPad for everyone that has an iPad that's 4 years old or older. If you'd like, though, to get an upgrade, we can do that if you want to pay the difference. And I know a couple of you have expressed interest in upgrading. So just let us know what you'd like by the end of the year, and then we'll plan on getting those.
Are you talking about, when you say the upgrade, if we aren't at 4 years, or if we want more than what he's buying?
If you want an iPad,
More than the basic.
iPad Pro or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the one that he mentioned was good
He
enough
said
for
13
me.
inches. I'll bet you it's this the 11-inch one probably, though.
I don't think so.
Really? It's really going to be
I don't
the
know.
bigger one?
That's one that I would want, yeah, but.
If you want more memory or a larger screen or something like that, I mean, anything that you want this on the kind of the model that he's planning to purchase, let us know. Just
Whatever,
send us-
if he put the right model there, then that's fine,
that's the
but
one
do
you
you want
want?
us to talk to him regardless?
Just,
or-
no, if you're okay with that model, he'll get that for next year. Otherwise, let us know in the next week or so if you want something different.
Okay.
And then we just pay the difference.
Pay the difference,
Yeah.
correct? Yep.
And cellular plans we pay for as well, right?
Sorry?
Like cellular plans, data plans,
wanting
we pay
something
for
different?
ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anything else? Okay. All right, now to the presentation. I'm just sad and excited. Okay, should we come down here so that we can do a picture?
Yeah.
All right, let's go down there, do a picture, present Harry his plaque.
And then
Good riddance.
come on, Mike.
All right, does this one work? Okay. All right, for anyone listening, we are just so grateful again for the service of Councilmember Perry Oaks. So we have a plaque. It says, "In appreciation to Perry R. Oaks for your dedicated service as a Kaysville City Council member." We thank you. So Anne Marie got this for us, and we're giving this to you. It has your years of service. So thank you.
Like a military. I can hide it.
Can you scoot in so it looks normal?
Me? Yeah. You know how much I like you?
He doesn't like me or people.
Not like you, it's just tight quarters.
He likes his bow.
Maybe one more once you're done.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you want to hold that? Okay.
Hey, we'll hold this like this.
Okay, we'll hold this out. Okay.
Gosh, dang you.
That is way cool. Love it, man. Thank you.
I know. Thank you, appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn?
All right. Thank you, everybody. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. All in favor? Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you. Oh, how cute. Nate.
Hey, Josh?
You really did? Wow. Oh, Abby, don't even worry about it. Here you go. I forgot to say no one signed up for anything, but you know, no one did. So. I know. I'm like, we're just winging it at this point.
Do you want to put this in your pocket?